the world ended tomorrow, most preppers would die surrounded by gear. Because survival doesn't come from having more tools, it comes from having the right 7. Forget movies. Forget the influencer kits packed with tactical gadgets. When the systems we rely on fail, the power grid, the water tops, the supply chains, survival boils down to a few brutal truths. It's about water, shelter, heat, food, health, and the decisions you make when you're cold, hungry, and scared. These 7 tools, this system I'm about to lay out, covers all of it. Everything else you see online, it's optional, it's noise, it's weight you can't afford to carry. So what makes a real survival tool? Here's the core rule, the filter you should run everything through. A real survival tool must do multiple jobs, it must work without power, and it must still function when you are physically and mentally exhausted. If it fails any one of those tests, it's not an asset. It's a liability waiting to get you killed. It's something that requires energy you don't have for a single purpose you might not even need. Which brings us to tool number 1, a cutting tool. This is the foundation of your ability to manipulate the world around you. Think about it. Food prep, from skinning an animal to cutting up scavenged vegetables. Shelter building, whether you're trimming branches for a lean-to or cutting cordage to lash things together. Repairs to your gear, your clothing. Even first aid improvisation, like cutting fabric for a bandage or a tourniquet. The action here is simple. Get a small, fixed blade knife or a truly reliable folding knife. Nothing complicated. It should be made of simple steel, the kind you can easily sharpen on a rock if you have to. And most importantly, carry it on you, on your belt, in your pocket, not in a bag that can be lost or stolen. Because if you can't cut, you can't adapt. And if you can't adapt, you're already dead. Tool number 2 is fire control. And I say control for a reason. Anyone can start a fire. The real skill is knowing when, where, and for how long. Fire is warmth when you're freezing. It's the ability to cook food, making it safe and unlocking calories. It's sterilization for your water and your tools. And don't underestimate this, it's morale. A small, controlled flame can be the only thing standing between you and despair. So your action is to have 2 independent ignition sources, a simple Bic lighter and a backup like a ferro rod. But just as crucial is knowing when not to use fire. A big bonfire is a beacon for anyone you don't want to meet. It wastes fuel. The key is to use fire briefly and intentionally. Get your task done, boil your water, cook your food, and then extinguish it. Fire is a tool, not a lifestyle. If this already sounds different from most of the prepper lists you've heard, then follow this podcast. We don't focus on what looks cool online or what sells in catalogs. We focus on what survives the harsh, unforgiving filter of reality. Now onto tool number 3, water control. This is absolutely non-negotiable. Dehydration will kill you much faster than hunger. 3 days without water and your body starts shutting down. And it's not just about finding water, it's about making it safe. Bad water kills quietly. It gives you dysentery, giardia, cholera, illnesses that will incapacitate you, draining your body of the very fluids you're so desperate to replace. Your action plan needs redundancy. Have at least 2 of the following 3 methods. First, a boiling method, which requires our other tools, fire and a container. Second, a good gravity or pump filter. Third, chemical purification, like iodine or chlorine tablets. They're lightweight and foolproof. Your stored water, those jugs in your basement, they will eventually run out. The ability to purify water on the go is what keeps you alive indefinitely. Tool number 4 is insulation. This is the tool that beats weapons every single time. Do you know what kills more people in survival situations than violence? Exposure, the cold. Hypothermia is a relentless and silent predator. Insulation works while you sleep, it works while you're resting, it works 24/7 to keep your core temperature stable. Your toughness doesn't matter, the cold simply doesn't care. Your action items are about layers. First, something to get you off the ground, like a simple foam sleeping pad. The ground leaches heat from your body faster than anything else. Second, warm layers of clothing, wool or synthetics, never cotton. And third, a dry base layer against your skin and a hat on your head. You lose a massive amount of heat through your scalp. Insulation is your personal wearable shelter. That leads to tool number 5, a container. This might sound mundane, but a good container is a force multiplier. It's the missing link that makes many of your other tools truly effective. Without it, how do you carry water from a source back to your camp? How do you cook food or boil water for purification? You can use it to store supplies, keeping them dry and organized. You can even use it to transport heat. Fill a metal bottle with hot water and put it in your sleeping bag, and you've got a personal heater. The action here is to get a single-walled metal container if possible, something you can put directly in a fire. It needs a durable, tight-fitting lid, and it should be tough enough to be dropped. A container multiplies what you can do with everything else on this list. Next, tool number 6, light. When the power goes out, the world becomes a different, more dangerous place after sunset. Darkness isn't just an inconvenience, it causes panic. It turns a simple task into a hazardous one. Injuries spike at night, trips, falls, cuts. Light is essential for navigation, for working on gear, for signaling if you need rescue. Your action is straightforward. Get a simple, durable headlamp or flashlight. A headlamp is better because it keeps your hands free. And for every light, have at least one set of spare batteries, stored properly so they don't drain. Don't get a fancy light with a million modes you'll never use. Get one that is simple, tough, and reliable. Because when you're stressed and in the dark, complexity is your enemy. If you can't see, you will make bad decisions. And finally, the most important tool of all. Tool number 7 is your brain. This isn't about being a genius, it's about using systems, not just relying on stuff. Stress destroys judgment. Panic makes you waste precious energy. Having a pre-planned system prevents catastrophic mistakes when you're not thinking clearly. This is the real separator. The action is to internalize a priority list and stick to it no matter what. Shelter first, get out of the elements. Then water, find and purify it. Then insulation, manage your core temperature. Food comes last. And before you do anything, pause. Take a single deliberate breath before you act. Conserve your energy like it's the last dollar you own, because in the end, the best survival tool is simply knowing what to do next. So what didn't make the list? No guns, no gas masks, no solar-powered laser-guided survival gadgets. Why not? Because these things are scenario-specific, they're heavily training-dependent, and for a beginner, they have a very low return on investment. A gun is useless if you don't know how to maintain it and use it under extreme stress. And let's be blunt, if you can't manage the basics, if you die of dehydration because you didn't have a water filter, that expensive rifle isn't going to save you. These 7 tools I've laid out work as a system, a survival stack. Your knife helps you make a shelter. Your container lets you boil water with the fire you started. Your brain tells you to do it all in the right order. Remove any one of these tools and the others become weaker. The whole system struggles. But together, they buy you something invaluable. They buy you time. And in a crisis, time is survival. Time to think, time to rest, time to be found. When the world ends or just stops working for a little while, the people who make it through won't be the ones with the most gear piled up in their garage. They won't be the ones with the flashiest equipment. They'll be the ones who mastered the few simple tools that actually matter.